Shalom, everyone. This is Yisrael with our weekly Shabbat class. We thank you all for joining us this afternoon, and we welcome you and say shalom to everyone who chose to have to share their Sabbath with us. We're going back into our lesson that we had before, that we were doing last week, which was a very, very good lesson. You know, it's good when the teacher say, hey, I learned something. So I want to be able to really go back in there and start where we were before, to be able to understand who we are. And we're still dealing with the third person of the Godhead. And some people say, third person? What's the third person? We don't know nothing about no three people. Well, we have established, a few things in our previous class that we would encourage you. If you missed some of the classes that we didn't take, we can't go back and get those. But the ones that we have taped and we have put them on the Internet, we advise you to go to the Internet and look at our YouTube channel. And it's called Yehudah Project, not the Yehudah Project, just Yehudah Project, Yehudah. And we have several YouTube clips out there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure I have my screen open where everybody can see the screen. All right. So I want to make sure we have that. All right. That'll work. Okay. So we established last week about the chosen people. We are working toward understanding who these people are and who the third person of the Godhead is. Now, we went into Daniel chapter 7, and we found out about the one that looked like the Son of Man, that came with the host of heaven to the Ancient of Days, when the Gentile was at the final rule and the judgment of their reign. So we know who the Gentiles are. Those are the descendants of Japheth in Genesis chapter 10. And through research, we have come to find out that the Gentile is the European people. So I want to share that with you so we can go forward and to be able to move forward on this. And now last week we established that the Most High at the Tower of Babel, he divided the people up into 70 nations. And with those 70 nations, he attached 70 Elohim, one for each nation, to those people. And then he chose Jacob for his portion. So I want to be able to elaborate further on that as we move forward in the lesson. And to be able to understand who we are in this lesson. So just one moment, and I will get everything together. I have to make sure that we have all this done. But I think that everybody was very pleased with the way it went last week. And we're working to have the same kind of class this week. We definitely want to do that. So I wanted to touch base on some things this week about how he chose Israel as his people. Because we have a lot of new people on the class, and we have to be able to explain to those people, how we became who we were. All right, now I think we're ready to do this from here. All right, this is what we call the chosen people. Now, I know that some of you all who have been in the class for a while know this stuff, so I just wanted to kind of touch base and go over this again so that we will be able to understand. So we know that Israel chose Jacob for his portion. There's a group of people in the Bible that belongs to the Most High alone. They're not identified to any other God. They're not owned by any other God, and they are not supposed to worship any other God. So when the Most High chose Jacob, he chose him for the lot of his inheritance, which means that we were chosen to be his people. Now, that can provide a controversy because in the land now, there are people who are claiming to be the chosen people of Israel. And I always say this. This whole story was written by the Most High. It's like a play. And for every generation, the curtain goes up and the curtain goes down. And each generation, when the curtain goes up, everyone has a part that they have to play. Even the people that are in the land today that are professing to be Israel, they have a part to play, and they're playing their part. So this is the first time in history where you have two people professing to be the same group of people, and somebody is not telling the truth. So we're gonna deal with that today, because we have to be able to establish the people in order to understand who this third person is, or this God is, who is going to have his own kingdom for 1,000 years. This is very important to establish. So what I'm doing is I'm starting at the end and I'm working my way all the way back. Because I figure this, if we can establish from the Old Testament all the way back, then we'll be able to understand how this is actually going to be played out. So like I said, last week we came to the conclusion that at the Tower of Babel, the Most High came down and confounded the language of the people. He separated the people into 70 nations, and each one of those people had their own God. And he chose Jacob. So let's get into how, because I know that a lot of people know this, but we're going, for the sake of the new people that are here today, I want to be able to explain how, and this is very important. So this is called the chosen people. It says the Most High introduced himself to 3 different men spanning 3 different generations. And here we go. It says Abraham. First, the Most High called Abram out of Ur of the Chaldeans, giving him the land of Canaan. And you know, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 10. I'm going to tell you something. I don't like everybody being quiet. That's not going to work for me, because I want feedback. And we need some feedback. I just want to warn everybody, please do not take over the class. Please give everybody else a chance to talk so all of us can be included in this, because I don't like the fact that nobody's talking. I want that feedback. I think that's very important, you know, that people are able to hear that feedback and to really be able to communicate and talk. Now, if something happens where we feel like you are taking it over, we're going to mute your mic. I'm warning everybody up front so that we don't have that going on, because it's important that the new people understand what's going on and what we're about to tell them. And I like the fact that the people who have been in the class for a long time, they have comments that are very important to what we're talking about, and that they'll be able to give some feedback as to, you know, about the lesson. I think that makes the class a whole lot better. I mean, don't you guys agree?
Well, Sister Yain, I got a suggestion. My suggestion, am I being heard?
Yeah.
Okay, my suggestion is that make certain points and read certain things, you understand, and when you go to another subject or you go to something else, ask if they have questions or comments.
Right. That's exactly what I'm going to plan on doing. I am definitely going to do that. But in the meantime, I'm unmuting the mic so that everybody will have a chance to say something, because it's very important. I don't want to be like the other groups and nobody's talking. I think that everybody has a very valuable opinion, and it's very important, you know, that we hear the opinions, because this is how we learn. We learn from each other.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's very important that we do this, because I like the feedback. I don't like anybody not being able to say anything. That's not going to work for me. Again, I'm unmuting the mic, giving everybody an opportunity to have something to say, and we'll go from there. If by chance your mic is not unmuted, there's a reason. That's all I'll say. There's a reason. And, you know, we have our reasons, so we'll leave it at that. All right, did I get everybody? I think we got everybody. Shalom, shalom, everybody. So, okay, so now we're getting ready to go into the lesson, and we're going to talk about how, let me see, make sure I get Brother Yerushalayim. He introduced himself to 3 people. Hold on just a second. Okay, I think we got everybody. All right, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that. Let me pull this back up again, and we'll go from here. All right, Genesis chapter 12. This is the introduction that he made unto Abraham. Again, if there's noise in the background, we're going to mute you. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. It says, Now the Most High had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So the Most High has introduced himself into Abraham, and this is how he introduced himself to him. He said, I need you to lead your people. I don't need no influence from your family. I need you to completely trust me. And I want you to get out of here and go into the land that I will show thee. He said, and when you get there, I'm going to bless you. Now, we all know the story that that's not exactly how it happened. You know, he did leave, but he went through some things, you know, while he was on his way there and in his journey. You know, and one of the biggest things that he went through was believing the promise that the Most High told him he was going to have a son. Now watch. Now we're getting ready to go into Isaac. I'm not going to go through the whole story because that's going to take too long. I just want to establish the fact that the Most High introduced himself to three men in three different generations. So here's Isaac. We're going to Genesis chapter 26. I hope you guys are writing this down because this is something that you're going to be able to need in the future. Genesis chapter 26. It says, there was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Most High appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell of thee. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. So now he's introduced himself to Isaac, and he's made a promise. He said, you sojourn in this land, and I will give it to you. He said, not only unto you, but unto your seed, I will give all these countries. And see, that's what people need to understand. When we talk about the land of Israel, it's just not that little spot that they're fighting over in the Middle East. It spans into about at least 8 different countries. That's how big it is. So I'm going to show you on the map if I have a chance before this is over with. Because I think it goes into Iraq, it goes into Jordan, it goes into Egypt, it goes into Africa, it goes into, oh my goodness, let me think.
Turkey,
it goes in, I mean, it's at least 8 different countries.
India.
Huge. Mm-hmm. It's huge. And the Most High said, I will give all these countries,
Syria,
and to your seed. Watch. He said, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. And that is the absolute truth, because guess what? There's no salvation, there's no understanding of Yah, there's no peace, there's no perfection unless unless the other nations learn it from Israel. Because we are the ones that he's chosen to be his people. He said, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. He said, this is why I'm doing this, because your father obeyed me. He did what I told him to do. Okay, watch. Now we're going to Jacob. Now we know the story between Jacob and Esau. Some people say Jacob stole Esau's blessing. But Esau sold his blessing because he was hungry. But the Most High knew what Esau was going to do before those boys were born, and it was foretold that the younger would serve over the elder. Watch what it says. Genesis chapter 28. Now, this is the most important right here. Genesis chapter 28, verse 10. It says, Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillow and laid down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Yah ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Most High stood above it and said, I am the Most High, Elohim of Abraham thy father, and the Elohim of Yitzhak. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. There it is again. I don't think we realize how important we are. When Israel is out of place, the whole earth is out course. He said, and behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep and said, surely the Most High is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other than the house of Yah. This is the gate of heaven. All right. Now, when he said this is none other than the place, the house of Yah, this is the gate of heaven, he really meant this was a portal. Because he saw where the angels were coming in and out of the earth. From the kingdom. Any questions? Any comments? All right, let's keep going.
I have a question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is on topic. But you said that the Europeans are the Gentiles.
Correct.
Are Ham's people Gentiles?
No, not according to Genesis chapter 10. No. The Japhet is the progenitor of the Gentiles.
Okay.
No.
Then are they Hebrews?
No.
Okay.
They're not. They're not Hebrews. Ham's family is not Hebrews, and they're not Gentiles according to Genesis chapter 10. Because in Genesis chapter 10, when they break it up into the tables of nations, it specifically says that Japhet, these are the isles of the Gentiles.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not Gentiles. No. Which means that we can't be Gentiles either. And this is a big thing that has been taught to us over the years in the churches, is that we were Gentiles. Well, guess what? When you're in captivity, what usually happens to the person that's being held captive? They take on the identity of their captor, don't they? Mm-hmm. Don't they?
Absolutely.
They're not going to tell you you're Israel. They're going to tell you you're just like us. And like we said last week, they had their own gods that they served. So when we came into captivity, whose God did they give us?
Their God.
Their God. We learned about their gods. And this is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. And I'm going to do that next week where the Most High said you're going to be made to serve other gods of wood and stone. He told us that that's what we were going to do in this captivity. He told us that that's what we were going to do when they transported us by ship. That I'm going to send you to a place that is not yours, that you knew nothing of, a language that you didn't understand, and you're going to be made to serve other gods of wood and of stone.
That's powerful. Sister Yaina, one more thing on that same subject. Do you realize that that God that they serve, everybody serves that God?
Yeah.
All the nations around, you understand, talk about the cross, Jesus Christ, and blah, blah, blah. All of them.
Yeah. They do. They do. Now, say this, is that when we came off the boat, well, before we got off the boat, before we were even shipped over, they converted us into Christianity. They did. They did that to us. They converted us. They baptized us and everything. And let me say this, I believe in the Messiah. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't. I do. But the one thing that I have understood is that the version that we were given and the person who he is two totally different things. Because we learned it from the Gentile perspective.
Well, that's what I was talking about now. I was talking about how their perception, you understand, is not the same thing. But but if you go, wherever you go, man, in China, or any place that you go, they worship the cross.
They do. They do. They worship the version of Christianity that the Romans came up with. And you look at the church now, and guess what? It is a direct duplicate of the Catholic Church. It is. Everything is the same. It's a duplicate. But there's a difference between us and them. Because the Most High said, I chose you to be my people. He said, no other nation have I known. And we're going to get into that next week, but I want to establish him identifying himself as our God, because we have to understand the fact that he identifies himself as our God. And that's very important to understand. Here we go. The name changed, so we got to understand something. Remember, we're establishing the third person of the Godhead. I'm getting ready to explain the name of this person that Daniel saw in Daniel chapter 7. But I've got to lay the groundwork because it's very important that we understand this. Now, somebody's name was changed. Can somebody tell me whose name was changed?
Jacob.
Jacob's name was changed. But the question is, who changed it? God. Y'all.
The angel that he wrestled with.
The angel, somebody said God. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? What? I mean, that's right. But watch what happened. Genesis chapter 32. Because I got to get you to understand why we do what we do and who we are. Genesis chapter 32, verse 24. It says, and Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled with a man. Uh-oh. There it is again. There's a man that Jacob is wrestling with. So whoever this thing is, he looks like a man. With him unto the breaking of the day. These boys were tussling. I mean, tussling. Watch what happened. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. Now, you know that had to hurt. But this man, whoever he was, he had some supernatural powers, didn't he, to be able to just touch you, and all of a sudden your hip go out of joint. So this wasn't an ordinary man that he was wrestling with. Because he touched the thigh, and the man's hip went out of joint. And I asked this girl years ago, I said, well, did Jacob walk with a limp? She said, I never thought about that. Because there's nowhere in the scripture to say it went back again. But hold on, let me move forward. Watch what he said. He said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? Now he knew what his name was. He said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Now, I could stay on this for about a year, but I'm just going to scan over this real quick. He called him a prince. He said, for as a prince, thou hast power with God. How did Jacob have power with God?
He was chosen.
He was able to prevail.
He was able to what?
To prevail against the angel.
He was able to prevail against him, wasn't it? So that just wasn't an ordinary man that he was wrestling with. Couldn't have been if he had power with God and with men and has prevailed. Oh, y'all quiet on me today. I mean, let me go back. I'm going to do it again. Here we go. Let me go back again. We're going to go back again. Hold on a minute. Let me do it. All right. He says, and Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled with a man with him until the breaking of day. So there Jacob was in a place where he saw a man, and they got to wrestling and tussling. Jacob knew it was something different about this man, but whatever conspired, he was wrestling with this guy. Watch what happened. He said, and when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. Now Jacob is wrestling, and his leg is hanging to the side. But he's still wrestling with this man. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince. What does that mean when he said as a prince?
He's usually the son of the king.
He's the son of, It's usually the son of the king. All right now, he said, so let's say that, so as the son of a king, thou hast power with God, with Yah, and with men. How did he have power with Yah?
Because he was a part of the same family.
See, and he a part of the same family? Since you know what, you're taking us to a whole nother level. Yes, but I mean, at that moment, he had power with God because what did he do? What was he doing? It was wrestling with him. What? He was wrestling with him. He was wrestling with him. That wasn't an ordinary man. He was wrestling with him. Why? And now, because he was wrestling with him and he held him tight and he wouldn't let him go, y'all just touched his hip, put his leg out of joint, and then gave him a name. Now, this is the second time that he meets up with Yah. Genesis chapter 35 and 6. He said, so Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. He built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there Yah appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. Now, they was going to a funeral. Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, had died. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak. And the name of it is called Allah Bakat. I guess I did that right. And Yah appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Pandanaram, and blessed him. And Yah said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. So the Most High is establishing something with Jacob. He's changed his name to Israel because guess what? He's got to get a people from the loins of Israel, because remember, Jacob is the lot of what?
His inheritance.
His inheritance. This was done at the Tower of Babel. Now, let me ask you a question. At the Tower of Babel, was Jacob born?
No.
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 Was Abraham born?
No.
No.
All of these people were not even born yet. So as he began to choose Jacob, he had to come on the scene at the time this generation, these three generations were coming in order to establish himself and introduce himself to the three people that he needed to so he could become the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Because he chose Jacob at the Tower of Babel to be the lot of his inheritance. Not only did he choose him, but he made him a prince. And in order for you to be a prince, like the sister said, your father's got to be a king. Watch what happens. He said, and Yah said unto them, yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just had a question. When you went back to talking about him wrestling with him, and he wouldn't let him go until he got a blessing, I mean, do you think that he knew that who he was wrestling against?
I don't think he knew it was the Most High. I think he thought it was an angel. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, because the experience that I had when I was encountered by that person, I knew it wasn't. I knew he wasn't of this world, but I didn't want to believe that the person that I was trapped in that elevator with was Yah. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, it crossed my mind, but I didn't want to go that far. I was okay with the fact that could have been an angel. But do I think that the Most High comes down into his creation and is there? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely he does. Absolutely he does. That's why we have to unlearn to learn again, because we've been taught in Christianity that he's a puff of smoke. And then he flies through the sky like a dust of smoke, like a spirit, an ancient spirit or something over the whole earth. So do I think he knew it was Yah? I would stand to say I think he knew it was an angel. I think he felt like it was an angel. And then he had here we go.
I was going to ask.
And then he had the strength to overtake the angel, and the angel was wrestling with him, and when he got tired of playing with him, he just touched the hollow of his hip.
Well, can I ask a question? It's
not of course.
That's stupid. Does really an angel bless you?
Right. That's a good question.
That's why I figured he might have known him, because he asked for a blessing, and I'm not so sure that he would have gotten a blessing.
The angel a blessing. That's true. That's a good point. Because can an angel bless you?
I don't know.
And also, can you wrestle with God and win?
That's it. All of that is my question.
Well, guess what? We know he wasn't really winning. Because when he got through with it, when he got tired of him, what did he do? He shut the game down. He just touched his head.
That's right.
He said, now you're going to let me go. And, he said, I ain't going to let you go till you bless me. Oh, you're going to let me go. And he touched the hop of his head, and the game was over with. And then he turned around and asked him what his name was. You knew he knew what his name was. Well, he knows all things. There's nothing that we do that he don't know of. We his creation. Of course he knew Jacob. He chose Jacob that Bible.
What do you foresee the touching of his hip to mean? I mean, there's a lot of places he could have touched him.
He just dislocated his hip so he would stop.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it was anything more than that he was dislocated his hip so he would stop. Because he said, I got to go. Day breaking. I got to get back. And this is hard for a lot of people to take. You know why? Because we have been inundated for so long with so many ideas from the nation that don't know Yah. And because it made sense at the time, it has just gone into our brain and saturated our mind to the point where we can't think of the fact that he has a nose, he has eyes, he has hands, he has legs, he can talk, and all of that.
Do you know the way I take that is that, when a child, or you playing, or a father is playing with his son or this child, and this child they're wrestling, and then it becomes serious with that child maybe, and the parent will say, okay, I'm through now,
Right.
And the kid would just, keep on, and then the father or the mother have to prove to him, well, I'm stronger than you are, but, I'm just going to let you know
right
who I am. You can't win no matter what. So,
exactly.
And that's what I...
He had the power to just touch him.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible didn't say hit him, he just touched him. And the man's leg went limp. Now, they call it a theophany. Some people call it a theophany. And this is the expression or the image or the sight that Yah wants you to see him in at that time.
What does that mean, theophany? What is that?
The different ways that Yah see, that you are able to see him. Like, for instance, when he came to Moshe, he didn't see a person. He saw a burning bush. And he spoke to him through the bush. That's what some people say. All right, let's go back. Here we go. Genesis 35. He says, and Yah said unto him, I am Yah Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And Yah went up from him in the place where he talked with him. So he came to him twice. And it was very significant that he came to Jacob twice because he wanted to make sure that I've established the fact that your name will no longer be Jacob, your name will be called Israel, and you are a prince now because you have wrestled with God and you prevailed with God and man. All right. Any questions, comments, or anything before we move forward? And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there. He said, what you need to know who I am for? What's the point? All right, now he's getting ready to tell Moshe who he is. And we're going to skip to the point where it's just a small verse here in Exodus chapter 3. And this is just a few verses to explain that he identifies himself as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Exodus chapter 3, verse 1. He said, now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Yah, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. So that means you got a bush that's burning, and the leaves are still green, and the stalk is still brown. It's smoking, but nothing's burning. Watch. And Moshe said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, Yah called unto him out of the bush, out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, here am I. And he said, draw nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. So one minute the Bible says it was an angel in the fire, and then the next minute it says that it was Yah in the fire, and that Yah spoke out of the fire unto Moshe. Watch. Moreover, he said, now this is the Most High talking. I am the Elohim of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moshe here to say, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High. And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrow. So he identified himself as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Now the next question is, whose name is it? Whose name is this? Let's see. Okay, Hebrew. What does Israel mean? It means the Prince of God, he who wrestles with the Most High. A surname. A surname is a hereditary name common to all members of a family as distinct from a given name. Isaiah chapter 44. That's what it says. Verse 1. It says, yet now hear, O Jacob my servant, and Israel whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Most High that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob my servant, and thou Jeshurun whom I have chosen. Now some people would say, well, who is Jeshurun? I knew you was going to do that, so I had to do this. It says Jeshurun is a poetical name for the people of Israel, used in token of affection, meaning the dear upright people. So he's talking to Jacob and the people of Israel. He said, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground, and I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thy offspring. But they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. One shall say, I am the Most High, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Most High, and surnames himself by the name of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Most High of hosts. I am the first, I am the last, and beside me there is no Elohim. And who, as I shall call, and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have I not told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there any God beside me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. Now, my question to you guys, and I know this is going to cause a bit of a controversy. This man that wrestled with Israel, this man that wrestled with Jacob, gave Jacob a name. What was this man's name?
Israel.
We know what his title was.
Israel.
What was it? Somebody say Israel. Israel. What was his title?
No, sorry.
No, he told you, I am the Elohim of who?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
He said, I'm the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But he has a name. And everybody that's in this class knows what his name is. What is this God's name that we deal with?
Yeah.
Yahweh.
Israel.
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 Yeah.
His name is Israel.
Israel, right. He gave Jacob his
Yeah,
name.
Yah's a title.
His name is Israel. They hanging up now, y'all. They hanging up now. They like, oh, I can't deal with that. I know it's Jesus. They like, oh, no, I can't deal with that. His name can't be Israel because we've been taught Jesus. Oh, no, I can't deal with that. Y'all can't explain. You got to explain it to me. All I can tell you to do is just hold on.
Keep an L.
He got a name. All right.
Okay.
It's a very common term in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and it refers to the Israelites as the descendants of the common ancestor Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. It was customary to designate the members of various tribes as the children of the one from whom the tribe originated. And it was natural that the people would boasted of Israel as their ancestor should be designated as his children. The first reference to the descendants of Jacob is found in the account of the changing of Jacob's name to Israel, and the purpose is to connect them with the experience in Jacob's life which led to the change in his name. Now, if we go to 2 Chronicles, I'm about to mess with y'all today. I'm going to mess with you today. We go on to 2 Chronicles chapter 7, because this is one of the most powerful scriptures in this Bible. We're going to start at verse 12. And here we go. I'm going to read this real slow. 2 Chronicles chapter 7.
Okay.
Everybody get it, because I'm going to read this real slow. I want you to get this. Here we go. And the Most High appeared to Solomon by night. Who appeared to him?
The Most High.
The Most High. The Most High appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice.
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
I know where you're going. We're going to mess with y'all today. Some of y'all that's new. I don't mean to step on no toes. If there's some pastors up in here, I'm sorry, I don't want to step on your toes. But I got to establish something here today before we move further. I'm going to read it again. And the Most High appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people. Here we go.
Yes.
Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
If my people, who is his people?
Israel.
Israel. Who are called by my name.
Israelite.
Who are we called?
Yeah.
The children of what? The children of what?
Israel.
Israel. The children of Israel. It's all through the Bible. The children of Israel. The children of Israel. The children of Israel. Let me say it again. It's my people. Who is his people that he chose?
The children of Israel.
Children of Israel. Which are called by my name. So if we're called by his name, what are we called again?
Israel.
The children of Israel shall humble themselves and pray.
Yes.
And seek my face. And turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sins, and will heal their land. What is the name of the man who wrestled with Jacob?
Israel.
Israel.
Wow.
Yes.
It's been there all the time.
And it's been sitting there all the time. He said it. Nobody said this. Jacob didn't say it. Moshe didn't say it. Nobody said the Most High appeared unto Solomon. He came and said, it's my people, which are called by my name.
Children, it's right there.
Yep. It's right there. You know how many times I've heard this in church?
Yes.
You know how many times somebody has recited this to me before we went into prayer? He said, I told you what my name was. I gave you my name. My name is Israel.
Yep.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, I've heard them preach it so many times, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sins, and will heal their land. My eyes shall be open, and my ears attend unto the prayer that is made in this place.
Mm-hmm.
For now have I chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. Any questions at all?
No question.
So wait a minute, let's back it up. So he says, oh my goodness, let me go all the way back. At the Tower of Babel, we got all the nations that are there. They're working under Nimrod. They're building this tower to go to heaven, to be able to fight with Yah. Yah looks down from heaven, and his 70 angels that are with him, and he said, we need to go down there and confound the language so nobody can know what each other is doing. And I'm gonna put each one of y'all over the nations, and I'm gonna choose Jacob for myself. Jacob ain't even born yet. No need no name for Jacob nowhere. He sits back and he waits until the generations go through, and then Shem starts having his children, and then somebody begets somebody, and somebody begets somebody, and then Terah begets Abraham, and then he said, oh, it's time for me to go. He waits until Abraham gets a certain age, and then he comes to him and said, I need you to leave your family.
Yep.
I need you to get out of here. It's a place I need you to go to because it's something that I need to do with you. Abraham obeys him, and he goes out, and then he tells Abraham and Sarah, you're going to give birth to a son. And then Isaac is born. Then he introduces himself to Isaac at the appointed time, and he says, I want to introduce myself to you. I'm the God of your father, Abraham. He ain't even told him a name. He ain't saying that. He said, I'm just the God of your father, Abraham. And he said, if you do what I say, I'm going to bless you, and I'm only here because Abraham was obedient. And then Isaac gives birth to twins, and he already tells the wife, look, the younger is going to rule over the elder one. He said, and at the appointed time, he comes up to Jacob, and he said, hello there. My name, I am the God of your fathers. I'm the God of Isaac, and I'm the God of Abraham. I just want to introduce myself to you. And for some reason, they have an altercation. Jacob, no, this man ain't normal. Just like I knew the one I seen wasn't normal. I knew there was something going on. Somebody had stepped into the dimension that we was in, and he said, there's something about this man I don't know nothing about. I don't know what it is. And the man had to know to ask him, what is your name? Now, you knew he knew his name. He spoke his name way back when he chose him as the lot of his inheritance.
But Sister Yaina, I have a question. Then why is he called Yah then?
That's a good question. I'm going to get to that. Just hold on. I'm on my way there. I'm on my way there. Hold on. I'm on my way there. He gets this man, and he wrestles with him. He touches his head, puts his hip out of joint, and then tells him, we're not going to call you Jacob no more. Your name's going to be called Israel. He said, because for the prince, thou hast wrestled with God, and with man and hast prevailed. Meet him up the second time. And he says, I'm no longer will your name be called Jacob, it shall be called Israel. He said, because I'm establishing something, because there's a people that I need to identify as mine, and in order for them to be my people, it is customary that the people have the name of the forefathers. So if I will be their father, then they're going to be my children. In the whole Bible that he has chosen for himself, so he can't see nobody else.
Well, then the Christians told us that was them.
What?
Say again?
I said the Christians said it was the Christian people that need to be. When we were in the churches, that's how we were taught.
Of course. We were taught a lot of things, but let me ask you this question. Who are those people called according to the Bible? Are they Gentiles?
Yep.
They are. So what we were taught, the information that we were given from the perspective of a Gentile that he never chose for himself. That's why we always tell people when you come here, you got to be ready to be deprogrammed. You have to unlearn to be able to understand who we are and who the God is that we serve. He chose us to be his people. Not only did he choose us, but he gave us his name.
And didn't you read, I'm not looking at the screen, I'm just on the phone, but I remember you reading that he said he would pour his spirit upon your seed.
Yes! Yes! He gave us his name. But he gave it to us through Jacob.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that it would be inherited. Against my people who are called by my name. I'm just establishing the man that he wrestled with. I'm just establishing the man that he wrestled with. I'm just establishing the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His name is Yisrael. That's all I'm establishing today. I'm not touching nothing else. I ain't going into Messianic, non-Messianic, none of that stuff. But the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his name is Israel, according to what the Bible says. Y'all got quiet on me. Everybody got quiet. According to what it says. Now, this is what it says.
That's why we are considered as the Israelites.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. We are considered Israelites.
And not, and they call themselves Israel.
And they call themselves Israel. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That is exactly why we call ourselves Israelites. Absolutely. That's all I'm establishing today. Somebody's making a lot of noise in their background. I don't want to have to mute nobody. But the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we established it. I want to make sure I established it to the letter. I walked you down on how he introduced himself to Abraham. Did I not?
Yes, you did.
Yes. I walked himself to Isaac. Did I or did I not?
You did.
Yes.
And I walked you down on how he introduced himself to Jacob and the encounter that they had. Did I or did I not?
Mm-hmm.
Did. You did.
And how he gave Jacob his name.
And how he gave Jacob his name.
Right.
Because that has to be his name, because that is the name that he gave Jacob, and that name was passed from Jacob to his children. And that is the custom of the land.
Mm-hmm.
That the name passes to the children. And then he doubles back during the time of when he fast forward to the time of Solomon and said, I see the temple. I think it's beautiful. I'm gonna put my name there. I'm gonna have my eyes perpetually there all the time. And then he says, it's my people. Well, we know who his people is. He chose his people to be Jacob's kids, who are called by my name.
He was establishing his nation.
You better come on, girl. You better come on, girl. Yes, he was. Who are called by my name. He told you, this is my name I gave out. It's one of them moments, them aha moments where you say, it's just been hiding in plain sight the whole time. It's been here the whole time. I even recited it from my lips and it didn't click in the whole time.
So when this is Adonia. So when it says that I am that I am, that's not a name, is it?
That's not a name, no sir.
Okay.
No sir. No sir. All that E-I, and all that, He just told you what his name was. He said,
Absolutely.
If my people who are called by He told you. It came out just as plain and simple. It's so simple a fool wouldn't even be able to err. It is. It's simple. And you just look at it and you sit there and you scratch your head like, how come I didn't see this? And then he say something to the people that are on this line that have been invited by family members. That's the same way the knowledge of who you are is going to be when he opens your eyes. it's going to be just like this. You're going to be like, well, how come I didn't see this in the first place? Because it wasn't time for you to see it. And it's been hiding in plain sight. You know how many people that come to me and say, my pastor won't believe this because he said he's been preaching for 50 years, and if this was the case, the Lord would have showed him this before now. I didn't even see this. And I've been reciting this since I was Israel. If my people who are called by my name, somebody said, it's simple.
Call him that time.
He reveals it. He just lays it out. When it comes time for you to be, that's why I said you're not going to get all this in the first round. And he reveals things to you at the level that you're ready to accept.